Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com, setting the record straight about climate. My friends in Australia tell me that the climate fear-mongering from the press has gone off scale. The latest is from the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. Extreme heat due to climate change could send cricket's Boxing Day test into extinction, researchers say. Let's take a look now at that claim and see if there's any validity to what they're saying. Australian Member of Parliament Craig Kelly tells me that the Boxing Day cricket test match is one of Australia's biggest sporting events. It's a 5-day match which runs from December 26th through December 30th every year. In 2013, it drew more than 90,000 people into the stadium. It's very simple to test out this latest fear-mongering theory. All we have to do is look at December 26th through 30th temperature trends around Australia. The Global Historical Climatology Network has daily temperature data for a couple of dozen stations going back to the 19th century. And I made graphs of the December 26 through 30 daily maximum temperatures for every single one of those stations. We're going to start with the rural stations and go in reverse alphabetical order. I always get complaints from people in Australia about my pronunciation of their odd names. I apologize for that, but that's not really the point of my presentations. We'll start with Walgett, which has temperatures going back to about 1880. Note that there's a change in color during the 1990s. This is because the location of the thermometer changed. And this straight green line is the trend line for the entire time series. You'll see that in every graph. Note that December 26th through 30th afternoon temperatures at Walgett have declined since the 19th century, and that the hottest temperatures are way back around the turn of the 20th century. We see the same story at Wagga Wagga. Temperatures have declined sharply, and the hottest temperatures occurred around the year 1900 during the Federation drought. Temperatures at Robe have declined. Temperatures at Mildura have declined, and the hottest temperatures occurred during the Federation drought. Temperatures at Mackay have increased slightly. Temperatures at Inverell peaked during the Federation drought and have declined ever since. Now is a good time to point out that the Australian Bureau of Meteorology hides all temperatures before 1910 because temperatures during the Federation drought were extremely hot and they are very inconvenient. Temperatures at Hobart peaked during the Federation drought and have been declining ever since. Temperatures at Gunnedah peaked during the Federation drought and have been declining ever since. Temperatures at Forbes peaked during the Federation drought and have been declining ever since. Temperatures at Emeralds have been declining since the 19th century. Temperatures at Deniliquin peaked during the Federation drought and have been declining ever since. Temperatures at Cobar have been declining since the 19th century. Temperatures at Charleville have declined very slightly. Temperatures at Cape Otway Lighthouse have also declined. Temperatures at Cairns have increased very slightly, but recent December 26th through 30th temperatures have actually been quite cool. Temperatures at Burke peaked during the Federation drought and have declined sharply ever since. Temperatures at Boulia have increased slightly but have not been hot in recent years. Temperatures at Bathurst peaked during the Federation drought and have declined sharply ever since. And temperatures at Alice Springs show almost no trend. Now let's look at Australia's urban stations. Temperatures at Sydney have increased a little bit. The Bureau of Meteorology has cleverly placed the Sydney thermometer immediately adjacent to 22 lanes of asphalt and right across the street from a tall building which reflects sunlight in the afternoon down onto the thermometer. 3 years ago I had the opportunity to inspect that thermometer myself. Boxing Day cricket temperatures at Melbourne show no trend since the 19th century. Temperatures at Darwin have declined. Temperatures at Adelaide peaked during the Federation drought and have declined ever since. This graph shows the hottest December 26th through 30th temperature recorded at all of these stations. Note once again that the hottest temperatures occurred during the Federation drought and peak temperatures have been declining ever since. It was extremely hot in Australia prior to 1910 because of the drought conditions. So the Bureau of Meteorology hides all the temperatures before 1910 because they wreck their global warming theory. They come up with all sorts of unsupportable justifications for doing this, which I will be discussing in my next video. Researchers are rewarded for making up fake news about Australia's climate. They get lots of publicity and receive government grants for their fear-mongering. And then the Australian Broadcasting Corporation is more than happy to parrot the propaganda without doing any actual fact-checking. Many news organizations hide their fake news behind the terms researchers say or scientists say. They believe that gives them a free pass to simply lie about the climate. But as the Sydney Morning Herald points out, climate hysteria has consequences. 3 years on from the South Australia blackout, the dangers of our rush to renewables are even clearer. Listen to the science. It's a perfectly rational statement often used by those urging others to accept that the climate is changing and human activity is driving it. But many who make this point tend to become irrational when someone dares question their preferred remedies or points out that making rapid changes to complex systems like our energy grid might be a tad harder than they claim. So it was when the lights went out in South Australia in 2016. But the reality is that climate alarmists don't have science behind what they're saying. Actual temperature data does not back up the fake claims made by climate researchers. The Boxing Day test match is not under any threat, and it's extremely dishonest for anyone to claim otherwise. ABC News should be ashamed of themselves, but they are typical for news organizations around the world. Visit Toto on the web at realclimatescience.com. He's been pulling back the curtain on junk science and propaganda for a long time.